It's no secret that for the past couple of years, sports games have produced nothing but disappointment. I, for one, could go as far as saying that I love sports games, and I've always been a big fan of them. I thought to myself it was only a trend to hate on sports games, bro. But now I'm asking myself, why do they suck? Why does everybody hate them? Why did it take me so long to figure out that sports games are fucking ass? Yeah, bro, let's talk about that. Have you realized that the suspense, the pressure, just the overall uncertainty of winning has been losing its value in the sports gaming genre? In real life, that tension is the very thing that keeps you hooked, never wanting to look away. The immersion I get watching grown men thug it out is an experience you can't get anywhere else. I end up praying for the fortune of my team while cussing out the guys that might whoop our asses. At the end of it all, I leave the watching experience with a sense of completion and the nagging urge to replicate what I just saw with my own two hands. In modern sports games, however, everything is an animation battle. It's a war to see who can get their guy to trigger some dumb shit coded in the game. Trust me, it's entirely possible to go out of your way and try to play your own way. All you will need is a bulletproof monitor and a lifetime of tissues while you cry the pain away. Yeah. I understand that most people are used to the way sports games are supposed to be played out. There are tons of tutorials teaching their ratty ways, but after doing so, something feels wrong. The reality of sports gaming is an absolute mess for the people who play, but most especially for the watchers. Sports games don't even look fun to play anymore because everyone is doing the exact same thing. Left, right, cutbacks, post hooks, reverse elastico, 24/7, 365. So how do we change that?
Wade from behind takes it away. Chalmers, Cole, James! Whoa!
Sports games lack three things: layering, expressibility, and atmosphere. With how hyper-realistic sports games are trying to be, I find it hilarious that their games are also becoming hyper-predictable. The moment you trigger a certain animation, you know you've beaten the game. It's even worse when the game has a way of actively doing that very thing. This type of problem goes away once sports games start playing within themselves rather than for something external like animations. The mechanics present in games like FIFA or EAFC and 2K is that their games rely heavily on trying to play the game for you. This is why FIFA players feel like the game is scripted and why 2K players get tilted on defense. Let me ask you a question. Why do you think there's been such a resurgence in people playing older sports games? I'm not talking 2 years old or even 5. I'm talking about the FIFA 12s, the 2K14s, and games like that. Why do that to yourself? Are these people stuck on nostalgia that much? Maybe, but it's really simple. Those old games feel smooth. Speaking of smoothness, money is a very smooth subject. Incentivizing, and the fact that sports games don't know how to. Good games have a simple formula. They teach players something while making their task easier. This is probably the least cost-worthy incentive and probably the most addicting. Games like League of Legends, Path of Exile, Get Over It, boom, boom, boom. These games might make you want to blow your brains out one day, but after that hurdle is crossed, you're LeBron until you're not. Sports games do everything in their power to promote anything that isn't gameplay. Can we please stop that? Yes, I want to express myself. I need to express myself. But damn, why do they care so much about these cosmetics when the actual gameplay is so shit? On the topic of expression, it's a factor that has been 100% executed completely wrong by these games. Hairstyles are not the only thing that describe me as a person. When it comes to atmosphere, bro, I get confused because how do sports games get that wrong? As I said earlier, the tension that sports bring out is one of the things that keeps me hooked. However, for sports games, this lack of aura seems to be a byproduct of the game not playing within itself. The fact that there's such a small amount of these mini interactions really throws off the atmospheric feel of these games. A couple of days ago, I decided to watch the Super Bowl for the first time. Now, the tremendous pressure I felt as I watched a game I had no idea about was almost suffocating. The way players and fans carried themselves before and after plays really brought out the importance of the game. As I was watching, I realized how dull, how lacking, how empty the atmosphere in sports games are. It made me realize that you can't tell if the person you're playing against really wants it. Why? Because sports games are in a position where how good someone is determined by how well they can abuse the game. In actual good multiplayer experiences, the best players come from the players that are best at the mechanics given by the game. The reason I love League of Legends so much is that after a couple interactions with your opponent, you can easily tell whether or not you're about to get shit on, that you guys are both ass, or you're about to get fucking embarrassed by your opponent. You can't even embarrass the people you play against the right way in sports sports games. Think of your favorite player, their mannerisms, their play styles, the way defenses play against them, and then look at yourself trying to replicate exactly what you see, only to realize that the game you're playing doesn't even give you the tools to do that. This fact in itself ruins not only the immersion, but also the overall enjoyment of the game we love in its virtual spectrum. We want to hear the fans screaming in our ears. The pressure of believing every choice we make is important. We want to feel the exhilaration of a goal, the hype of a slam dunk, the ooze of an ankle breaker, the odds of a screamer, relevant commentary, exhilarating defense, the replayability of plays, and just the fun of sports in video game form.
With 0.6 of a second remaining. The brilliant shooting of Stephen Curry continues.
Let's be real, sports games are cooked. The designers of these games are not enabled to make great games anymore, or even good ones. The lack of competition also hurts because that just means sports games are given the green light to give the bare minimum. So if any NBA Live or PES devs are watching, please save us. Games like Fortnite grew to what they are now because of those Chinese knockoffs and PUBG. When games are released with such shiny titles, we expect much more than menu overlays. If anything, y'all game developers need to peak game and lock in. If y'all actually gave us the game you guys advertise so well, you would be swimming in cash. Personally, I wouldn't mind if they break their titles for those looking for a single player experience and then another for those in the manager coach audience. If this happens shortly, yeah man, I'm probably busting. When it comes down to it, I believe sports games have lost their direction, and the backlash they get comes in with too many differing pressures and focuses. Everyone hates sports games. Is it our fault? The publishers? Who knows? All I know is that things need to change. One small risk will be more than enough.